Here's a pen. You know, I'll let you open it because I suddenly lack the strength. It's the 19th.
Yep.
I mean, I'm saying that because I wouldn't know unless I just checked my phone.
I actually just happened to check my phone, so it's fine.
Okay.
First before she goes, yeah. Sue's like, I really don't want to tell. How to tell them better than just not showing up. Ghosting us. So we don't mind the free grading anything.
Shalom. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. My name is Julie Fischbach. I'm a rabbinical student in Los Angeles. I'm here every third Friday of the month. And I feel so happy tonight to be joined by Raymond Zachary, a cantorial soloist who is singing with us all tonight. Really, really excited to have you here.
Happy to be here. Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
And just as we're excited to have Raymond here, we're also so excited to have you here. Whatever week you've had, whatever day you've had, whether it was a good week or a challenging week, Shabbat is here for you. Shabbat is here for all of us as a chance to reset so we can ground ourselves and have the energy and the strength to move into the next week when the time comes for that. But for now, we get to sing some more together, we get to pray some more together, and we especially get to welcome in the light of Shabbat together. So as we light our candles, I would like to invite up Alyssa Kolodny and Carly Hughes in honor of Alyssa's birthday. Alyssa Kolodny, thank you. I wouldn't want to say happy birthday to the wrong person.
At least it wasn't.
But thank you. O source of light and truth, creator of the eternal love, goodness, help us to find knowledge by which to live. Lead us to take the words we shall speak into our hearts and our lives. Bless all who enter the sanctuary in need, all who bring the offerings of their hearts. May our worship lead us to acts of kindness, peace, and love.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Amen.
Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to kindle the light of Shabbat.
Amen. Please be seated. I'm very excited to be with you all tonight as we get to take a break from what's going on in the outside world and welcome in Shabbat. And that's sort of what the first part of our service this evening is based on, Kabbalat Shabbat, as we call it in the biz, Kab Shab. That's what it says right here on the run sheet. It's a time that our sages teach us should be a simchadik zmiris v'tehillim, right? A happy, joyous section of our service that will lead us in to Mariv, our evening worship, as we will find different prayers of welcoming. First, we're going to welcome our angels, then we'll welcome the Shabbat bride, then we'll welcome each other. And it's about creating a space of Shabbat simcha, yes? So I'll invite you now to turn to page 24 for Shalom Aleichem. And I will say there may be some melodies that we're bringing up from our past, from our history, things that you've all heard before but might need a little refresher on. And my favorite saying was taught to me by my dear mentor and teacher, Cantor Jonathan Grant: God understands Yailai. So there's no reason for us not to be singing. And so we'll turn now to page 24 for Shalom Aleichem. welcomed our angels, we'll now welcome the Shabbat bride with Lecha Dodi. As we turn now back to page 20, and we'll be doing verses 1, 2, 5, and of course rising on that 9th verse as we physically welcome Shabbat into our space. Welcomed Shabbat, I'll invite you to take a moment and turn to the person next to you and wish them a Shabbat Shalom. Ask them what angels they have welcomed into this space. And just as we have called upon our Shabbat angels, Shalom Aleichem, our Shabbat bride with Lecha Dodi, it is now time for us to call upon each other as a Jewish nation as we call ourselves to prayer with the call to worship, the Baruch Hu, on page 28. Be seated.
The blessings before the Shema honor the cycles in our lives, the cycles of time, the cycles of education, of love, and we circle closer and closer to that feeling of togetherness, that oneness with the Shema. We're on page 30, where the blessing for the bringing on of evening, for the cycles of day and night, is mirrored pretty wonderfully in our larger calendar right now, in our Jewish calendar. We celebrate Rosh Hashanah in the fall, and we consider that the Jewish New Year, but there's actually considered 4 Jewish New Years throughout the calendar. There's the New Year of the world, of counting years for Rosh Hashanah. But around Passover, just about a week or so ago, was the first of Nisan, which is considered the New Year of festivals. And that's intended so that we can start off the year looking towards Passover. That Passover was the first festival, the first major holiday observance commanded of us in the Torah, but also the first time that we want to start out our year looking at spring, looking at newness. So we're holding on to that cycle of new beginnings, even if it's not Rosh Hashanah, that spring can also be full of new beginnings as we chant throughout our evening liturgy about time. We're on page 30. You can start at your own pace, feel the rhythm of the words, or look at the selections on page 31, and we'll join together with that nusach that sounds like the setting sun, that reminds us that we are too bound by time. Skillfully open the gates, altering time, changing the seasons, creator of day and night, rolling light away from darkness and darkness away from light. Umavir yom umevi laila, umavdil ben yom uvein laila, Adonai tzavaot shemo, El chai v'kayam, tamid yimloch aleinu leolam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai, Amari v'aravim. Turn the page. Ahavat olam beit Yisrael, amcha ahavta Torah u'mitzvot. Guard us when we lie down and when we rise up. We feel that love also has cycles, just like time does. Ki hem chayenu ve'orech yameinu, uvahem nege yomam ve'layla, ve'ahavatcha al tesir mimenu le'olamim. Baruch atah Adonai, ohev amo Yisrael.
Continue together on page 36 with the words of Ve'ahavta.
Ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levavcha uvechol nafshecha uvechol meodecha vehayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha Veshinantam levanecha, v'dibarta bam, bevshivtecha bevetecha, uvlektecha v'derech, uvshochbecha uvkumecha, ukshartam leot al yadecha, v'hayu letotavot beineinecha, uktavtam al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha leman tizkeru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'tem kedoshim lelohechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti atchem me'eretz Mitzrayim liod lachem Elohim Ani Adonai Elohechem.
Adonai Elohechem. Amen. Rabbi Jillian Cameron once taught that the Shema, of course, being our central prayer, the thing that set us apart from all the other nations, especially this time of year, we think we were surrounded by Egyptians who have all of these different gods for different things, yet we proudly declare our monotheism, our belief in one God. These words are so important to us that we surround them in our worship service with prayers of love. We start with Ahavat Olam, and we end with Ve'ahavta. And we surround the Shema with love, just as we should be surrounded with love ourselves, as we surround ourselves in communities, in villages, and in families. And so I'd like to offer this prayer, this blessing for family, as we think about those that we love, that we surround ourselves with. Dear God, in whatever way it comes into our lives, we give thanks for the blessing of family. For our children, may you be who you are, and may you be blessed in all that you are. And for each of us, may we be blessed as we are, and may we be who we were put on this earth to be. Amen.
Amen.
As we, of course, think now, 'tis the season for Micha Mocha. Our holiday is right around the corner. I just started thawing the brisket yesterday. As we turn to our song of liberation on page 40, Micha Mocha, we think of our time in slavery and all of those who are oppressed and how they will hopefully sing a song one day of their own freedom. And tonight we remember ours. Page 40, Micha Mocha. Yada As we think of how grateful we are in this season for our freedom, we think of what that has led us, the abilities to do. Of course, we build our Sukkot Shlomechas, we call upon our angels and our Shabbat queens and our friends for Shabbat. And we surround ourselves with these villages and these families, and we create these safe spaces, these Sukkot Shlomecha. As we turn now to our Hashkivenu on page 43.
Now that we've traveled through these cycles of day and night, of time, of love, leaning into the community that we have here, feeling that oneness that binds us all together, we can come together and focus on our individual connection with the divine. We now will begin to move through our Amidah. We'll begin together on page 46 and continue aloud through the Avot, the Gevurot, and the Kedusha. And then we'll have time to continue silently reading the words of the pages or speaking the words of your own heart, leaning into that connection with whatever it is out there that we're connecting to. God, the spirit that binds us all together, the heartbeat of the universe. When you've finished your silent prayers, you may be seated, and then we'll join back together in song. Please rise.
We continue now with Seder Kriyat HaTorah, the service for the reading of Torah. We'll begin on page 246 in your Sidurim, and we rise as the ark is opened.
בשמיים ובארץ כי כל בשמיים ובארץ לך אדוני הממלכה והמתנשא לכל לראש רוממו אדוני אלוהינו והשתחוו להר קודשו להר קודשו כי קדוש אדוני אלוהינו רוממו כי קדוש אדוני אלוהינו רוממו אדוני אלוהינו והשתחוו להר קודשו כי קדוש אדוני אלוהינו רוממו כי קדוש אדוני אלוהינו רוממו אדוני אלוהינו והשתחוו להר קודשו להר קודשו כי קדוש אדוני אלוהינו רוממו כי קדוש אדוני אלוהינו רוממו.
Now that the Torah is at rest, you may be at rest. Please be seated. All right, let's get. Got it? There we go. Beautiful. Just one second.
We are reading tonight from Parshat Metzora. For this aliyah, I would like to invite up Elaine and Gary Sinclair. Na la'amod, Ethel Rivka, Gary Sinclair la'aliyah.
Such authentic Hebrew names.
Okay.
If you want, you can use my talus.
Okay.
Take it, sits us in touch right here, where we're going to start reading.
Okay.
Absolutely. Remember, marriage is a two-way street, so give your husband a chance. Grab the talus and give the little kiss right there. That's okay. All right, and our Hebrew's going to start right here. We'll go together. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Baruch hu et
Adonai Hamvorach, Baruch Adonai Hamvorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch Adonai Hamvorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch Ata Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch Ata Adonai noten ha'torah.
Amen. Vayedaber Adonai el Moshe lemor, zot tihye Torah hametzora beyom tehorato, ve'ahuva el hakohen, ve'zot hakohen el michutz lemor chane, ve'hara hakohen el Hachinu nafshi lahagana. Oh, there we go. Lahagana el hamichutz min hatzarua.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torat emet, v'chaye olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Amen. Can I have that cover? Wait right here. Wait right here. You don't get to run away just yet. It's like they have stage fright or something. Misha berach avotenu v'imotenu Avraham, Yitzchak, v'Yakov, Sarah, Rivka, Rachel, v'Leah, hu yavarech hachatan v'chachala hazet. May the God and God of our ancestors before us, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah, bless you, who has come up here for an aliyah in honor of God, in honor of Shabbat, in honor of Torah, in honor of this Kehillah Kedoshah, this beautiful and holy congregation, and in honor of a very special simcha. Can you share what your simcha is?
It's our 50th anniversary.
50 years.
I always thought that was for old people.
It's interesting how you can have a 50th anniversary and a 26th birthday simultaneously. So I have to ask, what is the secret? If you can each share with us one nugget of wisdom that's made it the 50 years.
Well, he's the secret.
Oh, good answer. Good
He's a
answer.
very kind gentleman.
May God continue to bless you in everything you do as individuals and as a couple together. And together we say, Amen. Mazel tov. Siman tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, siman tov, siman tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, siman tov, siman tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, siman tov. Yehelanu, 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 ulecha Yisrael, Davinu, yehelanu, ulecha Yisrael. Mazel tov.
Thank you very much.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
We've now reached what I call the arm workout of the service. And I'm so excited about it, I'm actually skipping things. So we're going to rewind from the arm workout of the service.
Before we get to the
Before
arm
we get to the arm
workout, We see that the Torah is a witness to our upper body strength sometimes. It's certainly a witness to our joys, to our milestones and our love in life. And so too is it a witness to our concerns, to our uncertainties. So with the Torah in our midst, we turn now to page 253 for the Mishaberach, for a prayer for healing in our community. Today, we are especially wishing a refuah shlema, a whole healing for these people: Earl Benton, Shelley Blum, Nadia Boutros, Jean Clark, Nancy Danger, Jacob Ellis, Christine Garasek, Adrian Greenberg, Terry Hofflich, Will Jones, Susan Kibble, Tammy Klein, Cindy Colson, Pinkas L., Steve Lesser, John Levant, Shara Newman, Terry O'Brien, Avi Perry, Ronald Ross, Maria Weinberg-Schar, Hannah Schraga, Dean Stapleton, Christine Wofford, David Zutz, Benjamin Ze'ev Ben Rucho Riva Sima, Sarah Bat Elisheva, Esther Makla, Hannah Bat Batya Ruth. As a community, we are also, as always, holding in our hearts and praying for the safety of the hostages in Gaza, for their return to the loving arms of their families, and for the safety and healing of all Israelis and Palestinians caught up in the cycle of war. If there are any other names of people who you are wishing a refuah shlema, a whole recovery of body, of spirit, of mind, of fullness, I invite you to share their names as my hand goes across the room.
I'm doing just about everything else tonight, I'm electing to give me a break and call up Al, because I already had Arm Day. I think sharing is caring. What I think is really beautiful about the lifting of the tradition of Hagba and Galila. You can rise now. Sure, I was going to give you a second to sit, but rise. Why not? Is we get to create a little Mount Sinai every week. The purpose of this ritual is, of course, we've read, and now we can show the people what you've just heard. Just as the people of Israel stood at the foot of Mount Sinai receiving Torah, we recreate this every Shabbat. And as we begin this Pesach journey, of course, it starts our 40-year trek through the desert and our counting of the Omer until we receive Torah on Shavuot. So may this be the first of the many sweet receivings of Torah as we continue now with Hagba and Galila.
Thank you.
love it when the siren is in the right key. You may be seated. I'll do this. Oh, well, good Shabbos. It is so nice to be back with you all and to be welcomed back into this village. Even though I've only been here a few times before as a guest, it is so nice to come back to such a Hamish, warm, and welcoming village. To know that a celebration of Shabbat is going to be the same across the boards. It is such a wonderful feeling. So thank you for having me. A Jewish mother was once enrolling her child in private school. And when the school called to ask what her son's pronouns were, she was a little startled but didn't miss a beat. "He's a good Jewish boy. His pronoun will be doctor." Ever since preschool, we're always asked the question, what do you want to do when you grow up? But rarely do we ever hear the question, who do you want to be? We go through life building ourselves an outer shell, a way that we can be presented to the outside world, using labels like doctor, lawyer, or even cantor. We build a world of setting goals to get to the next level, the next label. If we do well in school, we are labeled valedictorian. If we perform well in the courtroom, we're labeled partner. Or if we save enough lives in the OR, we are labeled chief of surgery. When we describe one another, we affirm each other's shells. Introducing someone with a title like doctor or rabbi not only labels what they do, but reinforces the shell that they have built. But a shell is simply a vessel. A shell is only as important as the thing that it houses. And as I'm sure all of us have heard at some point in our growing up, it's what's on the inside that really counts. I've realized that labels, while they may describe the work that we do not always describe the people we wish to be. So I've recently stopped describing people with their labels, and I've begun using 3 different criteria: their attitude, the way they treat others, and what makes them uniquely beautiful. So instead of telling you that my sister is a teacher, I would first tell you that my sister is a kind, compassionate, and fiercely loyal young woman who loves her family and her heritage deeply. The more we start equating people to who they are over what they do, the better we will be able to see ourselves as human beings and not just human doings. We might just be able to see the world beyond the lens of labels that define us. After all, what we do in this world and our roles in life are going to change and evolve, whether that be a relationship, a job, or simply becoming Cantor Mommy of 1 to Cantor Mommy of 2. Wink, wink, hint, hint, I hope you're watching this live stream. So while you may be doing work in the field of engineering, you are going to be a creative problem solver. And while you may be preparing to do social work, that means you are going to be a compassionate and caring community member. But regardless of what you do in this world, you always have the opportunity to change what is within your shell and become the person you want to be. Tonight is known as Shabbat Hagadol, the Grand Shabbat. It is the last Shabbat before Pesach. That is the last challah we're going to eat before we make the big switch to matzah. I'll tell you how I really feel later. But even as we look at the story of our Exodus, we realize that our ancestors dealt with this very issue. We were labeled as the Hebrew slaves. We were known by the work that we did. But we knew that there was more we could be. God saw what we could be. And that's why we were chosen to be who we are. So, with Moses, Zipporah, Miriam, Yocheved, Abraham, and so many others, we began our transformation. We went from doing the mindless work as Hebrew slaves to being an active and cohesive Jewish nation. As we go through life, playing our individual roles, we have to look at ourselves and ask, are you simply doing, or are you really being? Doing what we do and simply going through the motions is sometimes a necessity of life. There are just those days where you have to go through the steps to make it through. But when you begin to be, instead of just simply do, you begin to put actions, or meanings and intentions behind your actions. Look at me, the role of a shaliach tzibur, a cantorial soloist. Am I here to stand in front of you and sing a song about a shelter? Or am I here to pray the text of Hashkivenu and help you connect to God through music? I'm not here to sing at you, but instead to pray with you. May we all find the ability to start equating one another to what's inside our shells, to our internal characteristics, so that we may see ourselves more as human beings and not just human doings. Ken Yehi Ratzon, may this be God's will. Amen. As we begin the conclusion of our service with Aleinu, we can't just end our service abruptly because, Jewish goodbyes. We'll turn now to page 282 for Aleinu L'Shabeach, as I invite you to please rise. Aleinu L'Shabeach Ladon HaKol, Latet Gedula Liotzer Breshit, Shelo Asanu Kegoyim Haratzot, Velo Zamanu Kemishpechot HaAdama, Shelo Sam Chelkenu Kahem, Vegor Aleinu Kechol Amonam, V'anachnu Koreim, U'mishtachvim U'modim, Lifnei Melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. V'ne'emar, V'haya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz, Vayom ha'u, Yeh Adonai echad,
Our thoughts turn now to those who are no longer with us in body, but whose memories impact our daily lives and our hearts. Tonight, we are observing Shloshim for Ennis Marcus, the mother of Carrie and Norma Marcus, and Dr. Mike Capsuto, husband of Myrna Capsuto, father of Elliot and Melissa Thompson Capsuto, and Cheryl and Michael Binder, grandfather of Clara Capsuto, Alexia Capsuto, Jared Binder and Marissa Demore, Brandon and Lauren Binder, and Haley Binder, and great-grandfather of Bryn Arlene Binder. We are also observing the yahrzeits of the following people. When you hear their name, you may rise. Bernice Barclay, Flora Biller, aunt of Mr. Arnold Adler, Barry Boyer, brother of Mrs. Susan Kibble, Maria Cater, mother of Jeffrey Cater, Edward Citrons, father of Rena Schulman, Mark Crum, cousin of Mr. Steve Maybaum, Jay Farrell, uncle of John Tice, Charlotte Granny Gardner, grandmother of Mrs. Lisa Williams, Jerry Gertler, remembered by Mrs. Susan Gertler, Annette Gore, mother of Mr. Harvey Gore, Shirley Gross, Judith Jacobson, remembered by Mrs. Mary Short, and Larry Coons, Iris Simons Kaz, sister of Mrs. Wendy Fink, Isaac Lerner, father of Miss Judy Lerner, Harriet Manco, remembered by Sue Rosen, Barbara Myhaley, mother of Mr. Peter Sazbolski, Albert Plotkin, remembered by Gloria Plotkin, Roberta Provis, mother of Miss Faith Hirschler, Jack Rubin, father of Mrs. Renee Hagan, Harry Z. Sachs, father of Dr. David Sachs, Keith Sagan, father of Dr. Sean Sagan, Edna Mae Sampson, grandmother of Alan Osborne, great-grandmother of Ella Mae Osborne and Ezra Osborne, Harry Sandler, father of Paul Sandler, Sidney Schulman, father of Maury Schulman, Jenny Dwoskin Smolin, remembered by Cantor Linda Ecker, Yetta Steiner, mother of Mr. Bruce Steiner, Patricia Waymuller, mother of Dr. Fred Waymuller, Bonnie Wadelitz, sister of Mr. Barry Horowitz, Kay Shore, sister of Bill Geltman. Are there any other names who we are remembering tonight? We are on page 294. We rise together to support our community and in memory of those who do not have anyone to say Kaddish for them. Yit gadal v'yit kadash shemei rabah.
Amen.
Be'alma divrach hirute ve'amlich malchute. B'chayechon uvyomechon uvchaye dechol beit Yisrael. Ba'agala uvizman kari v'imru. Amen. Yehi shmei rabah mevarach le'alam ulamei almaya. Yit barach v'yishabach v'yit pa'ar v'yit romam v'yit naseh. V'yit hadar v'yit aleh v'yit halal shemei dekudsha
Brichu.
Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tush bechata v'nechemata. Da'amiran be'alma v'imru. Amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya. V'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Osei shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru.
Amen.
Yehi zikronam livracha. May their memories be for a blessing.
Amen.
You may be seated. Now we have time for a few announcements.
Shabbat Shalom. I'm Susan Slonim on behalf of Board of Directors, and hello out there in Streamland. I welcome you all. And I'd like to thank Arnold Adler and Gary Miller, and for being our ushers. And tonight's stream is sponsored by Alexis Dvorkin in appreciation of Julie Fishbach. And tonight's Onig is sponsored by Gary and Elaine Sinclair in honor of their 50th anniversary. Shabbat guest speaker, May 10th, 2024, 7 o'clock. And please don't forget about Catherine Klein, our beautiful pianist, and beautiful music. And thank you both for your wise words and beautiful music. Back to the guest speaker, May 10th, 7 o'clock, Randy Biederman will be speaking about the book she co-authored, The Search for My Father's Lost, Schindler's Listed, The Search for My Father's Lost Gold. And also make sure to save the date for the CBT's annual gala, June 8th, 2024. More details are coming soon. Thank you for letting me be of service. Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you, Susan. We're gonna close out.
As much as we've avoided it, it's time.
It is time.
It's time. I'm going to ask everyone to rise. We don't normally rise for a closing song, but I'm going to. Catherine, can you do a little oompa underneath this? Thank you. 'Tis the season. It's not in your prayer book, so don't bother looking for it. But we're going to do 3 verses because trust me, after 3 verses, Dayenu, it's enough. Yeah. Ilu hotzi hotzianu hotzianu min Mitzrayim hotzianu min Mitzrayim Dayenu 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 Torah Ilu natan natan lanu et ha-Torah natan lanu et ha-Torah Dayenu. Everybody now. Pesach. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. We are going to make Kiddush and Motzi together. If you are B'nai Mitzvah age or younger, I would love to invite you up here with Susan. We're going to bless the wine or juice. We're going to bless the challah and make our way back to an oneg.
Enjoy that challah, kids. Next week, it's cardboard for everybody. I mean, you know what they say, if you eat the last piece of matzah, you can actually eat the box it came in because it tastes the same.
All right. We're going to lift up our Kiddush cup.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddeshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava u'v'ratzon hinchilanu zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit ki hu yom techila lemikra'ei kodesh zecher letziat mitzrayim kivanu v'charta leotanu kidashta mikol ha'amim v'shabbat kodshecha be'ahava u'v'ratzon hinchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh hashabbat. L'chaim.
All right, we have a beautiful holiday here, held up by our community.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone.